Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Lisa here. And today, what I would like to discuss is self love. And I am like just oozing out self love. Like, it has changed my life in so many ways. And whenever I first started, like, I was in a very bad place. I was burnt out to the max. Like, I couldn't even shower. I wasn't like brushing my teeth. I was like doing the very bare minimum, and I was barely doing that. Like, I was keeping my kids fed, and that was about the extent of what I could handle. And so whenever I was in that place, like unable to move, like totally in freeze mode, after so many years of always showing up, always giving my all, it was a very big transition from like doing to like get to like just not being able to function. And it was in that time where I kept hearing like self-love, and you hear about like you can only love someone to the extent that you love yourself. And so I started diving into self-love a couple years ago. And whenever I did, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot. Like, there was not, I'm sure there are books, but I couldn't find them, and like on the reels and the YouTube and all of that. Like, the only thing I could really find was Teal Swan, and she was even like more self-care than self-love. And so I really started to figure out what it meant to me. And that's really what I want to share with you guys today. And I believe this with all of my being. And I know from my own experience how powerful this work can be. And it's easy, but it's not easy. There's uncomfortable times, and there's difficult times, and there's times where because you're learning something new, you're learning how to like process your emotions and to actually show up for yourself, which is, for me, it wasn't something that I was used to doing. So it felt wrong and bad at first, even selfish, But when you go from being like not caring about yourself at all and just caring about everybody else around you more than you care about yourself, it feels weird. So, without further ado, my definition of self-love is your ability to respect, trust, and be kind to yourself. And when those three things are present, trust, respect, and kindness, it brings about safety. So safety is a part of it too. Like, if you're in a situation where you're not safe with someone, like it hinders your ability to be able to love to full capacity. When I'm talking about love, I'm not talking about infatuation or like really liking something. I'm talking about like love, like unconditional, pure love. So starting with that, what is the definition of love? It's respecting them, being kind to them, and trusting them. You cannot have true unconditional love without all of those things. And when we're talking about self-love, we're just reflecting that onto the self. Then the extra tricky part comes in. This one took me about a year to really get through. And it's the self part. Like, who are you? And this is who you actually are. It's not the you that you put on for the world. It's not the you who you've been told you have to be. It's who you actually are. So, we'll start with kindness, because that's really where I started. And it's like how do you talk to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Do you treat yourself with kindness, or are you like your own abuser? Because for me, I was very abusive to myself. In my mind, even out loud sometimes, but it was like why would I feel love for myself when I'm constantly nagging at myself, constantly criticizing myself, calling myself names, telling myself I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm never going to do this right? So look at how you treat yourself, and that's the kindness. Respect was another one that took me a while to like wrap my head around. You know, there's all these words like love, self-love. Like, who is self? What is love? What does respect mean? You know? So respect means literally to take another look at. Like spectacle, you're looking at it, redoing it again. So respect is like being able to value someone or something inherently. Like, just because it exists, it has value. And even if they have a different opinion or they do something that you don't like, you know, you can still value them without agreeing. And that's what respect is. So whenever it comes to yourself, it's like listening to yourself. What emotions are you feeling? And listening to them instead of like, I don't want that here. I don't want to feel this way. I shouldn't feel this way. Why won't this go away? Sort of thing is what I was stuck in. You know, and you hear it all the time, feel your feelings. But if you're not respecting them and actually like listening to them, and it has value, you know, you have value. So listen to yourself. Your emotions is like your body's way of speaking to you. And this is like, to me, it was the hardest because I didn't believe in emotions, really. Like, I thought that they were like weak and that they made me less than. But as I started listening to them and allowing them, instead of getting the same thing over and over again, like, it's new things and I keep working through them, and then it just keeps getting better. I keep getting lighter. I keep feeling more expansive and open and free, you know, because I know that I can handle these sensations now. Like, I can hold them and I can interpret the meaning and then, you know, do whatever I need to do to make life better, you know? And then trust comes whenever you start respecting yourself and you start being kind to yourself. And think about it. Like, would you trust someone who is always calling you mean names and telling you what an idiot you are and then telling you that your feelings are crap and you shouldn't have them? You probably won't. So if you have trust issues, this is huge, because once you learn that you are to be kind to yourself and to respect yourself, the trust automatically comes in for you. You trust in your capability to deal with things. You trust in your ability to be loving to yourself. And then from that, you start to like trust other people too. Like, they not trusting that they're not gonna do you wrong, you know, because we're all humans and these things happen. Even if they don't even know they're doing you wrong and you just feel like they are. But like, you trust in your ability to deal with whatever comes up. And this is huge. You go out into the world different. You show up different. You parent different. You feel different inside. You feel like lit up and loved and supported on an internal level because you're no longer abandoning yourself. And so that is my quick synopsis on self-love. And I am going to be sharing more, so stay tuned. And if you need support in this area, please reach out. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of the times self-care gets like blanketed over self-love, and I'm not bashing self-care. Self-care is so important, but whenever I was at the beginning of this journey, I was not capable of self-care. I had to learn to love myself first to be able to care for myself. So if you wish for support in this area, please reach out. You're not alone, and I have so much information, so many journeys I can take you on to really dig in and figure out who you are underneath all of the crap. That's really the hardest part. It really is. And honestly, emotions are so important. And I find so many people are resistant to emotions, and what you resist persists. So it's just going to keep coming. It's just going to keep getting stronger. So, I mean, it would take like an hour. I could show you what I do with myself on a daily basis, many times a day, to get to the core of the emotion. And I'm just like, it ended in dread. You stop reacting to things. You trust yourself to be out and about in the world. There was a time where I was like, I shouldn't be out. I can't be trusted. And you know what? I wasn't wrong. I was reactive and crazy. But self-love has really helped in that. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.